Hello and welcome to another Festival Pro tutorial video. Today we're going to take a look at the guest list. We're going to look at how you can add either an individual to the guest list or create a guest list for somebody. It might be a company. We'll use that as an example for this one, but it could be an individual who has just got a lot of friends to bring along. So different ways to add a guest. We can either go to add new guests, plural. This is where we'll add the company who will be allowed to bring some guests along. Or if you want to add an individual name, you can just go to add new guest here. And it's going to allow you to manually put in the details of somebody, and then the tickets will go direct to them as long as you put their email address in. And here you can grant them different levels of access with their ticket as well. So that's easy enough to add an individual to the list. If you want to create a list for a few people, we go to add new guest. We go to view all. We can see here differences. These here, Andy Miles is an individual put in, whereas Bacardi, they've got their own list and they'll be bringing a bunch of people along. So for this one, we're going to create a new list. Wrong one. Going to create a new list, and it's going to be the Apple company, and George Harrison can be the contact lead. And here we can set them to be a guest. Give them guest login. And then down here under accreditation, we can start allowing the different passes that they're going to have. Perhaps you're going to give them VIP passes or general guest admission, which is what I'll use in this situation. I'm going to give him 5 general guest admission tickets. And then we're adding. Now, although Apple Company are now in here with these 5 tickets, there are no tickets actually generated at this point. What we need to do is get a form across the. We go to forms. We've got our guest list invite unmanaged, and this is the single application. This is what this links you to in effect. When you click to add a new list, it's going to take you to this form. Just add individuals. So the other one, guest invite managed, is the one we want to have a look at. This is what we're going to send to Apple Company, let them fill in their 5 guests. And we'll just take a quick look at the settings here, and we can see that the access options are set to auto login link only, which is great because you don't want a public link here, or you want this just to be the Apple Company themselves that can fill in these 5 names. And if we go to our email templates, we can actually see there is already a guest invite template here that comes with Festival Pro out of the box, and that here has got the auto login link to that form. If you were creating your own email to send to these people, you can either come into this one and edit the information here, or on your own form you would want to go to mail merge, forms, guest invite managed and login option here. So now we're going to go back to our guest, and we're going to find the Apple Company here. And what we want to do is drop an email over to old George, and we're going to send them the guest invite. And we can see here it's automatically going to fill in the information that we've assigned him 5 general admission tickets. And we send that email. Now if I open this up we can see this is the email that George has received. We can view this in the correspondence, and when he opens up that form, it's going to give him a page like this. Now, we didn't actually set in here the entry gate or the car park for them. This is something that you would have to do this is something that you could do either during the initial point of adding them, as we did with the 5 tickets earlier, or as ever you can click on info here and we can then edit extra sections. That particular section we're looking at here is under the guest panel, and you can edit these options in config under custom fields. This is where you might just want to set which car park guests have to arrive at, or which gate they have to arrive at. And you can always add extra accreditation options here as well. If you suddenly want to give them 3 tickets instead, we can do that here. You can only do this before the names have been given. If we refresh here, we've now got a maximum of 3. And if we just take one more quick look at our guest invite managed form, and go to settings and on completion, we can see that this is going to send the tickets to the individuals or the main booker, and it's going to leave the form unlocked. Now, this is important because it means they can go back in and add names and change names. You might want to set a deadline at which you change this to lock, perhaps a week or so before the event, and that will not allow them to change the names any further. So if we go back to Apple Company's guest invite form here, and of course I'm sure George wants to come himself, and as we add people in here, you can see it's coming off the bottom. Guess he can have Ringo come along, and then just for the strange party we have Yoko Ono, and I think Paul and John are going to get left out here. And then we save, and that is done. Now, until that lock goes on here, they'll be able to go back in and change that. Now, if we kind of view, if we just go to the registrations for this form, our guest invite managed form, we can now view the Apple Company here. We can see the names here. We can see the unique ticket IDs that have been generated for each ticket. We can view those tickets. This is what they'll be coming out with, and as ever, these tickets are all scannable with our Android or iOS device apps. Now, if the Apple Company, if George was to go back into this form now, via that auto login link with the form unlocked, he can come in here and he can change the names. So perhaps if we go to the company here, and we'll just see this done in real time, just as an easier way to show you how the name change works. So we currently have Ringo Starr with this ticket. We're going to take Ringo out of the mix, and we're going to add Eddie Vedder in. To this strange party of people. We're going to save that. And now if we come back here into the profile, we refresh, we've now got Eddie Vedder here, new ID, and the other ticket now will not scan. So that's just a quick look over the guest list. We just had a look at how we can add either an individual guest through this link. We can add overall company or owner of a guest list who will be assigned tickets in the accreditation section. Then how to send the auto login form to them so that they then can fill in their guest invites correctly. Once the guest invites have been added, those tickets will be generated and sent out to the users. You can resend the tickets here, and how to lock the form so edits can no longer be made.
Cause